You know this meme? Vtuber lore versus Vtuber personality? Well, lore is a fun thing to do as a Vtuber. It's basically like fanficting yourself. And I think ever since Hololive Ian first generation showed up, Vtubers just kept getting more and more powerful on their lore. And you know what? I'm here to discuss that. If you couldn't notice, I have changed my format of doing this, for now, to hopefully sound a little bit more natural. And also cover some more stuff in these videos without sounding like a cringy 2010 video. From now on, I'll be ranking Vtuber groups. If you don't know my previous videos on Vtuber lore and abilities and whatnot, I basically had a format where I would analyze each Vtuber's abilities and how high in the list they would go against other Vtubers, like where I would put them, where I would rank them. However, I didn't quite get that format going in the way that I wanted it to go. I basically wanted to be a little bit more epic, if that is the correct word, but honestly with the voice that I have, I don't think that really worked too well, and also I'm just not good at giving that hype. So instead of that, I decided to go for a more almost podcasty way of doing it, like basically just discussing it, just talking with you and just saying my thoughts on Vtuber abilities and powers. So yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna be doing from now on, and I hope you do like it. And if you do like it, do let me know with a like, because that's gonna help me know that you actually want to see this content and that you actually like this new way of doing things. I think it's gonna be fun, and I think you're definitely gonna like my more natural approach to this. And how I'm gonna be doing this now is I'm basically gonna discuss each member's abilities of a certain group, in terms of fighting power obviously, and give them a rank within the group. And that way we'll see which one is the strongest out of this group. And of course eventually I'll make the winners of each group fight each other and rank them also. And of course I will tackle indie groups. I don't really know how or when or in what way, like how I'm gonna consider an indie group, but we'll have to see that when we get to that. Anyway, starting off this new format, as the title of this video probably suggests, I'm gonna be ranking Hololive Ian first generation Myth. Well, starting off this ranking, we're gonna start on number 5, what I think is the 5th most powerful member of this group, or you could also say the weakest of this group, which that doesn't mean she's weak, that just means she's the weakest of the group, okay? Just clarifying that. Also, just a little disclaimer, this video has nothing to do with my opinions on these Vtubers. It doesn't matter how much I like the Vtuber or not, I'm purely ranking them off of their powers and their lore. Okay, just clarifying that. I love all of these Vtubers, okay? And this is not necessarily the ranking I would put them in terms of which ones are my favorites, okay? Just stating it. Starting with number 5, in my opinion, I'm going to put Amelia Watson on this spot. Now, if you think about it, it's really not that surprising that Amelia Watson is the least powerful of the group, because she's really the only human of the group, and we all know how squishy and mortal humans are. Now you might be thinking, wait, hang on, she's a time traveler, and time traveling abilities are really broken most of the times. And I would argue, yes, that you are very much correct. However, see, this is a little bit difficult to discuss, because let's say that Amelia is gonna fight, I don't know, Kiara or someone like that. Let's say they fight each other, and Amelia decides to win this battle by going back in time and basically killing her when she's a little baby. I mean, she could do that, however, there's a small little detail. Amelia has actually said multiple times that she's seen multiple different timelines. And this is important because that basically means that if she goes back in time and kills Kiara, that Kiara she killed is not our timeline's Kiara. And that basically means she hasn't won this battle. And that is a little bit weird thing, because technically she could kill any baby that you want, but yeah, she's basically really good at killing babies, but not at killing their other members. And that is why it's a little bit weird to rank her, because yeah, she doesn't really have that much fighting power in all honesty. I mean, she has her syringes, which I guess could be a weapon, but first of all, we don't really know what these syringes are able to do. But even if there's some kind of poison or venom, like even if it's like super powerful poison or venom, I'm pretty sure any of the other members would not even let her close. So yeah, she would actually have to stab them with the syringes in order for them to actually work. And I just don't think Ame would be able to do this with all of the abilities that the others have. And the other thing she could potentially do would be to hire other Ames from different timelines. Like there's that buff Ame. But again, we're comparing a buff human versus a space god. Like that's just not gonna work. Even if she's buff, there's not much she can do. And there's also little Ame that has a gun. But again, we're talking about a gun versus a space god. Or death itself, literally. So yeah, I just don't think Amelia Watson is having that much power going on for her. And that's pretty much it. Really, there's really not that much to discuss about Ame. But going on number 4, I think the spot for number 4 is gonna have to be taken by Gura Gaur. My goodness, is it weird to say that name in the American order? If you couldn't tell, I did say Amelia Watson, as in Amelia first name, Watson last name. But if you do the same with Gura, it really doesn't sound right. I'm way too used to hear Gaur Gura and not Gura Gaur. But oh well, I mean that is her name. But anyway, with Gura we already have a non-human character. She's basically a shark. Well, she's an Atlantean, but you know, she's essentially a shark. Therefore, she's already more deadly than Ame. Like, that already gives her an advantage because sharks are really freaking good predators. Having those big fangs already an advantage because that's an extra weapon that Gura has. And I'm assuming she's somewhat strong as a predator. She also has that big trident, although, I mean, I don't really know what that trident is able to do. And, I mean, fighting gun versus trident, I mean, it's obvious that the gun is gonna win. But, you know, she has it, so that is nice. Besides that, she is an Atlantean, which I don't really know what that means. I mean, she can live for thousands of years. That's about all of the information that we have about Atlanteans. And yeah, that's honestly about it. I definitely think Gura can, just by instinct itself, she can definitely beat Ame. She definitely has more of a predator approach, and she's probably more trained in actually killing than Ame is. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest. These two are almost on the same level, if we're perfectly honest. But I definitely think Gura can pull off some more movements that Ame wouldn't be able to expect. And considering that Atlantean can live for thousands of years, it's probably safe to assume they're a little bit more resistant than humans, right? But yeah, that's honestly pretty much it about Gura. She really doesn't have that much going on for her against the other members. It's easy to think that she could have an advantage over water, like she's basically some kind of fishman of One Piece, but that's not really true. Because you know what sucks about Gura? The fact that she cannot swim. I mean, she can swim. That is the way she swam to the surface when she first left Atlantis, but yeah, she's really not a good swimmer. She's said it multiple times, she's not a good swimmer. Because I was actually thinking that maybe a strategy that she could use would be to pull people underwater, and that way she could like drown them. Because bear in mind, Gura is perfectly capable of breathing underwater, she's not gonna drown. But because almost everyone else is better at swimming than her, probably they could be able to kill her before they drown. You know, like unless she like somehow drags them all the way down into the abyss or something. But I don't think that's gonna be that possible for Gura. Oh, actually that is something to consider. The fact that she can... We don't know how deep Atlantis is, but the way she talks about Atlantis is probably really deep down. So she probably has a lot of physical strength in order to, you know, not be crushed by the ocean. So that is something to consider. She's definitely more resistant than your average human. And I guess your average shark as well. But yeah, considering she's not really a good swimmer, first of all, I don't think she could be able to drag them down that much before they can go free, because again, she's not a good swimmer. But also I think that because everyone else is a better swimmer, they could just fight her in the water, and honestly, she'd be on more of a disadvantage underwater than above the water. So yeah, that's a little problem with Gura. Now, I know some people are gonna bring up the animation, the Hololive EN versus Ina animation. Well, first of all, it's important to know that that animation is not canon. Okay, that animation was a fan animation. I don't think so far none of the members have said anything about, oh yeah, I can definitely do that. Like, I don't think they've said that. But even if they did, honestly, the only reason why Gura fought more in that animation is because Kiara and Kali got immediately teleported away. Like, Ina basically considered both Kiara and Kali way too powerful to really handle, like, easily. So that's why she was like, you know what, I'll just teleport you away and deal with you later. Like, that is the only reason why Gura was really the one doing most of the battle there. But that also says a lot about Gura, because the fact that Ina didn't consider Gura powerful enough to also be sent to another dimension, like, Ina knew that Gura wasn't capable of defeating her, so therefore we can probably assume that Gura is less powerful than the other three, even with the animation. So yeah, that is how it is. Speaking of Ina, by the way, I think she fits the number 3 spot pretty much perfectly. So number 3, Ina is Ninomai. Now this is another weird one because we don't really know the full extent of Ina's powers. We know that she has the Necronomicon, but the Necronomicon, we don't really know exactly how much it does. We know, like, from Lovecraftian stories that the Necronomicon is able to summon the Ancients, which, I mean, we already established that it's basically cheating because at that point you're just putting someone else to fight for you. But yeah, I think there's a couple of magic spells in the Necronomicon, but there's really not that much else in it. And again, Ina, she's supposed to be a priestess of the Ancients, but we have no idea what that means, and she's even said, like, she doesn't really want more powers, which I guess could imply she does have more power, but she just doesn't want to. If we go with base Ina, like, she's really freaking weak. She's definitely more capable than Gura and Ame, just because of the tentacles alone. But I mean, that's about it. She has tentacles, and that's it. That's pretty much all she can do. Which again is really powerful because these tentacles probably have some strength in them. They definitely are capable of lifting heavy stuff, and I'm pretty sure they can do a lot of damage. I mean, those things are massive. But besides the big size of these tentacles, there's not a whole lot going on. Once I start talking about Kiara, you'll see immediately that there's no way that Ina could beat either Kiara or Kali. But yeah, there's really not that much. And again, we could consider the animation, which, yeah, in the animation she's really freaking powerful. She can basically level cities in like seconds. However, even in that animation, again, she considers Kiara and Kali way too powerful, so she just sends them away. Like, she couldn't handle them. So that also says a lot about Kiara's and Kali's powers. So yeah, I definitely think that while Ina just with her tentacles are able to perfectly fight and beat both Gura and Ame, well, we're gonna start getting into really powerful situations with the other two that we have, and you'll see what Ina is not capable of defeating them at all. And with that, we go to number 2, Kiara Takanashi. She is the second most powerful, in my opinion, of Hololive EN first generation. And really, Kiara doesn't quite get as much credit for her powers. until you remind yourself that she's a freaking phoenix, and phoenixes are incredibly powerful creatures, just let me tell you. If you don't know the lore of a phoenix, and admittedly I didn't know this myself, I had to check on different resources, but the typical phoenix, like what a phoenix is typically described as being capable of doing, it's insane. First of all, we have the obvious, like phoenixes have fire manipulation abilities. They obviously can create fire and also bend fire to their will. And well, with Kiara we don't really know how hot her flames are, but considering she's prohibited of actually using them, it's probably safe to assume that they're at least volatile enough to do some significant damage. Like, I don't think, like, if she removes her limiter, I don't think she's just gonna be able to, like, make a tiny fire and that's it. Probably her fire is just gonna explode out of control, so yeah, definitely important. But besides their fire abilities, which are already, like, I mean, if Ina fights Kiara just with her fire abilities, she's gonna make it Takodaki out of Kina. Like, that's just how it is. But even after that, phoenixes are said to be able to have super strength and, get this, super speed. Super speed to the point where it's actually been stated that some phoenixes can travel beyond the speed of light. Yes, you heard me correctly. Kiara can probably go even faster than light. You know how broken this already is? You know how absolutely disgustingly broken the speed of light is? Like, just think about this for a second. We have a shark fighting against someone that can fight at the speed of light. Before Gura can even do anything, before she can even begin to comprehend what is happening, she's probably been hit so hard, her body just started to morph. That's how powerful Kiara is. Like, a punch at the speed of light is just gonna destroy most of living creatures. I'm pretty sure, like, even if Ina can summon like 1,000,000 tentacles, Kiara can just super fast go through the tentacles and just destroy Ina. And bear in mind, Ina is still a human, technically. So, yeah, just with that, she's already really freaking powerful. But if that wasn't enough, phoenixes also have the power of resurrection. So even if you manage to kill Kiara, she's just gonna come back to life. Yes. Can you understand how overpowered Kiara is actually? And actually, this is one power that Kiara has actually confirmed that she has, because she's actually said that not only can she resurrect, like, she said that every time she resurrects, she used to resurrect in just a random dimension or a random timeline. Not anymore. She has actually stated that she has resurrected so many different times that she can now fully control where she's going to resurrect. So she can just resurrect in this same life over and over and over again. So yeah, Kiara is just absolutely broken. She's just absolutely broken. Oh, and if all of that still wasn't enough, there's still more power to go through. Phoenixes are also able to heal pretty much anything. Almost all non-fatal wounds. Like, if you wound are fatally, it's more difficult for phoenixes. But again, they can just resurrect, so who cares? But most of other wounds, she can just heal them, like, fairly easy. And not that it's easy to wound them anyway, because they do have more resistance than most of other creatures, which, yeah, she just keeps getting more broken and broken. She also has the healing tears, which, yeah, apparently, like, when a phoenix cries, those tears can actually heal you. I don't know if they can heal themselves with the tears, but maybe, I don't know. They also have pyroportation, which I wouldn't blame you if you didn't know what that is, because I honestly didn't know either. Apparently, pyroportation is the ability to travel in fire in order to teleport yourself. So basically, they summon a flame, they go inside this flame, and then they can summon that flame somewhere else, and they go on that other place. So yeah, it's basically just teleportation with an extra step. I don't know, it's just interesting that they can do that. And finally, an ability that's actually not mentioned too often about phoenixes is their ability to shapeshift. Phoenixes usually use this ability to shapeshift as a way to conceal their birth form into a human form. So that's how they disguise themselves. And it's in fact what Kiara is using. That is why we see that humanoid form. But nothing really states that they can't just take any other form they want. I mean, it's not really specified that they have to turn into that specific human shape. I think they can just turn into any human shape, which that could definitely, I can see that being used for like surprise attacks, or maybe some kind of like psychological manipulation, like, oh, you wouldn't hurt these people that you love, right? Like, I can definitely see her using that in battle. And yeah, I mean, those are all the abilities that Phoenix has, and it's just insane. Like, Kiara is literally a beast in terms of power. Like, she has a lot of powers. She has a lot of different abilities that, yes, I'm pretty sure she can beat. Like, honestly, if Ina, Gura, and Amelia work together against Kiara, I don't think even the three of them could do anything against her. Like, she's just overpowered as heck. But you know who's even more overpowered than Kiara? Well, that's obviously Mori Calliope, number one. Is anyone seriously surprised that Mori is on first place? I mean, she's literally death herself. Like, come on now. Mori is basically a Shinigami. That is her official race, a Shinigami. If you don't know, a Shinigami is basically the Japanese version of a Grim Reaper. Well, almost. There's a lot of differences, but we'll get to that. Because the Japanese folklore, it doesn't really give you much about the Shinigami. On Japanese folklore, the Shinigami are spirits that are capable of making people want to die. So they don't kill people, they make you want to die. They just basically remove all desire of living off of you. Which is already a pretty powerful ability if you ask me. I mean, imagine just having to fight someone and all of a sudden you're like, no, I shouldn't fight, I should just die. Like, that is basically Mori's ability. However, it is also very important to note that she has referred to her previous boss as not a Shinigami, but a Grim Reaper, okay? In fact, she's actually said herself that she's a Grim Reaper apprentice, like in English. And this is huge because the Grim Reaper has way more information about them than the Shinigami. So, generalized concept, because the Grim Reaper is something that multiple cultures have different definitions of. A Grim Reaper is basically said to not intervene in someone's death, but rather what their mission is to help the soul reach its final destination, so the afterlife. However, again, because the Grim Reaper is a concept that several different cultures have different definitions of, well, there's different powers that different cultures give it to the Grim Reaper. For example, Christianity sometimes considers the god's angel of death as if that was the Grim Reaper, and this angel can indeed kill people, as in it was that angel that killed all the babies in with Moses and the story of Egypt. That was the angel of death. And other authors don't really consider this angel a Grim Reaper or a form of Grim Reaper, but they do consider the fourth horseman of the apocalypse a Grim Reaper. And basically these fourth horsemen of the apocalypse have pretty much the exact same powers, just killing people. So yeah, I mean, either way they can kill people. And okay, so if there's this different approaches of the Grim Reaper, well, which one is Mori? Is Mori the Grim Reaper that just helps the souls reach the afterlife, or is she the kind of Grim Reaper that actually kills people? And well, I think it was on her debut that she said that she won't be killing people while she's in Hololive, and that basically tells us that she used to kill people. So yeah, she's definitely the kind of Grim Reaper that can kill people. And now we don't really know how she kills people. She does have the giant scythe that is said to be able to, well, reap souls, as the name would imply, and therefore she could probably use the scythe to actually kill people. There are some iterations of the Grim Reaper that can actually just kill people from a distance. Like, they don't really need this big thing. In fact, a lot of the times they just watch and then the person is dead and the person is dead. So that could be part of her powers. But either way, emphasizing on reaping, on the act of reaping souls, if she reaps your soul, we can probably assume that because she's a Grim Reaper, she can just make your soul go to the afterlife. And yeah, that basically means that she has the perfect counterattack for people that can resurrect. Because, I mean, think about Kiara's resurrection, okay? I mean, if Mori can kill Kiara, we can just assume that is a victory for Kali. Even if Kiara resurrects, I mean, Kali defeated Kiara, right? But even if we count the resurrection powers, Kali can just get away with, like, she can get around on these powers because she can reap Kiara's soul, and therefore, because she doesn't have any soul anymore, she wouldn't be able to resurrect back. So yeah, that is an advantage. And also, I mean, Grim Reapers are pretty much unkillable. I mean, again, they're the personification of death. Death cannot die. So yeah, I don't think, like, as much heat as Kiara can produce, I don't think Kali is even gonna feel it. If anything, she's gonna sweat a little bit. I don't even know if Grim Reapers can sweat, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, I don't think, like, Kiara's heat is able to do anything. And we can go into the rest of her powers, like maybe the speed of light can do something, but again, we can probably assume that the Grim Reaper is probably at least capable of going at the speed of light, if not even quicker. Because, like, I mean, think about how many people die in the world, and if the Grim Reaper is real, and every time someone dies, the Grim Reaper is there, the Grim Reaper has to be able to travel from one point to the other in less than a second. So yeah, it's probably safe to assume she's just as quick as Kiara, if not quicker. And also, I mean, if the Grim Reaper decides it's your time, right? Like, there's pretty much nothing you can do about that. You're just dead. And you can be a space god, you can be a phoenix, you can be whatever the heck you want. Your time is time, and that is it. Like, it's in several different cultures, and even in several different media, the Grim Reaper is always like the ultimate thing. There's nothing you can do about it. It's really difficult to find a way for Kiara to actually beat Mori. So that is why I think that in Hololive Myth, Kali is by far, at least in my opinion, the most powerful in the entirety of Hololive Myth. The most powerful creature, the most powerful Vtuber, at least for now. But what do you think? Do you think that I'm correct? Do you think that I should have ranked something else? Like, maybe there's an ability that I didn't know about, or maybe there's an ability that maybe, like, for example, like with phoenixes, like maybe not all of them have, so maybe Kiara doesn't have it. I don't know, but like, do let me know what do you think about this rank. How would you rank these VTubers in terms of power? Maybe you can see something that I couldn't. I don't know, just let me know in the comments. And also do let me know in the comments which group would you like me to rank for the next video. We could still do Hololive, we could do Bishoujo, we could do Nijisanji. There are several different groups that we can do, and we can try to analyze their powers a little bit, and I think it would be fun. And these groups don't really have to be like these super powerful godly beings that are capable of destroying cities by the cycle. Like, we can just rank animal VTubers, and I mean, animals are powerful, they're pretty good predators. We can also rank those. So yeah, just let me know what would you like to see. If you like this, leave it a video, maybe share it with your friends, maybe, I don't know, give me a retweet on Twitter or something like that. And we'll see each other on the next video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, because I will keep doing this kind of videos. If you like it, that is. Bye bye, and See you in the next ranking. Sayonara.